When my nephew was born, my brother-in-law, the proud new father, handed out cigars according to the custom. Although I was only 9 years old at the time, he gave me one too. My cigar was sitting on the chest of drawers when my sister's squirrel monkey, I'll let that one settle in for a second. Yes, you heard that right. I grew up with a monkey in the house. Tinker opened the cigar and took a big bite out of it. The awful taste of the tobacco sent Tinker into a display of rage unlike anything I've witnessed before or since. He ran laps around the room, squealing, tore that cigar to pieces, and scattered the tobacco all over the room. As a 9-year-old, I was fairly shocked by Tinker's display of anger. I went running from the room to avoid being savaged by the crazy little thing. Rage is an emotional response that can be seen in much of the animal kingdom. Picture a cat that has the hair on its back standing up, its spine arched, its mouth agape, teeth showing, with a hiss. In that state, the cat can attack anything, even an animal 10 times its size, even a human. Rage can make an animal oblivious to danger, even to the point of its own death. But we humans are too much above wild creatures to behave this way, right? Right? Unfortunately, humans also have the tendency to be guided by rage rather than reason, and the outcomes of human rage can have more severe consequences than that of any animal. Think of the death, the suffering, the disruption to relationships, and the injured children that are brought about by anger. Can you think of anything more destructive? Anger has tentacles that extend into the future. It brings about physical and emotional suffering from which people hardly recover. I venture to say there are few things more full of damage and regret than rage. One of the main causes of anger is pride. People say to themselves things like this: I deserve better. They have no right to treat me that way. How could anyone be so stupid? What you're doing is making me angry. Look long at these phrases and see if you can identify the arrogance in each one of them. Notice in that last statement the implication that if I'm angry, and even if I'm acting out on my anger, the fault lies with someone else. Consider Jesus and all the horrific events that led to his crucifixion. He didn't deserve any of it. In fact, in love, he created the very humanity that was putting him to death out of blind rage. And yet he went to the cross in submission to his own created beings rather than to call down the legions of angels that stood on the ready. We're quick to point out that it's not always wrong to be angry, and that there is such thing as righteous anger. But James is exactly on point when he says that the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. When God is angry, good things happen, even if going gets rough for a while. But when man is angry, every evil thing comes along. Pride, bodily and emotional injury, ill will, hurtful words, and even slander. The result is brokenness, and some of those fractures are never repaired. If we're prone to acting out in anger, we're acting like the animals. Tame the beast. You'll have far less to regret. Here are some questions for you in your individual or group meditations. First, name a time in your memory when you have acted regrettably out of anger. Second, name 3 ways to avoid acting out of your anger when it arises. Third, what are some Christian principles that are necessary to repair the damage that is done by anger run amok? And fourth, what role do courage and humility play in repairing such damage?